Are you ready to be inspired, empowered, and uplifted? Get ready for a brand new show that celebrates the incredible journey of women everywhere.
From the comfort of your home, interact with us through our YouTube and Facebook channel, Jesus Prevails Church, for an hour filled with inspiration, wisdom, and faith. It is a platform where we delve into stories of remarkable women who blossom and thrive through grace, beauty, and modesty.
As we embark on this incredible journey together, we draw inspiration from Proverbs 31:10-12. In a world where noble character is a rare gem, there shines a woman who embodies the essence of Proverbs 31.
Join us every Tuesday from 8 p.m. as we embark on an interactive session like no other. Introducing
the Woman of Excellence Show. Join us for the Woman of Excellence Show.
Because you, my friend,
are a woman of excellence. Are you ready to be inspired, empowered, and uplifted? Get ready for a brand new show that celebrates the incredible journey of women everywhere.
From the comfort of your home, interact with us through our YouTube and Facebook channel, Jesus Prevails Church, for an hour filled with inspiration, wisdom, and faith. It is a platform where we delve into stories of remarkable women who blossom and thrive through grace, beauty, and modesty.
As we embark on this incredible journey together, we draw inspiration from Proverbs 31:10-12. In a world where noble character is a rare gem, there shines a woman who embodies the essence of Proverbs 31.
Good evening, our viewers. Karibuni tena to the Women of Excellence show. It's yet another day, another moment that God has granted us again to interact with you. Yeah. So from wherever you are watching us from, tunasema karibuni tena. I am your host, Miriam Mwambua.
And Susan Callisto here. We are excited and we are happy to have you here. Ready to have a time of fellowship.
Yeah.
Fellowship. We hear and we learn from each other.
Very true. Mm-hmm.
As iron sharpens iron.
Iron sharpens an iron. Karibuni sana. And also remember, we are on Facebook as Jesus Prevails Church, and also we are on YouTube as Jesus Prevails Church. Kindly like and follow our pages. Also invite people to like our pages. Share as much as possible. Let us learn from each other.
Yes.
Karibuni.
Yes, karibuni, guys. Karibuni.
So how has your week been?
Well, my week has been a lot.
Nilikuona mahali kwa mtandao. Guys, last week I told you tulikuwa na the women of
the women.
Yeah, we had a conference.
Mambo gani hayo?
Ulikuwa pale celeb pale mtandaoni nilikuona. You know, I went back home, by the way.
You are also there.
I know.
In fact, you are standing right next to me.
I went back nikasema wacha nijiangalie.
You want to attend the event now?
Yes. So I was part of your online viewers, by the way.
Same.
I was watching you guys. I was watching us do our thing on the Women of Excellence show.
Yes, what Mish is saying that we had the Women of Excellence conference on the 1st of June.
That
was
Saturday.
Your Madaraka, because that was our Madaraka day.
Yeah, by the way, it was a holiday.
Yeah, and it was a very beautiful event and exciting one.
Very, very exciting.
And lots of women showed up. Thank you for coming from wherever you are. Thank you so much for coming.
And we really learned a lot.
Yeah, we learned. Mambo ko ilikuwa serious.
Ilikuwa moto. For those who missed Aki, you don't know what you've missed.
Yeah, but you can always go back online on our Facebook and YouTube walls, and you will see us at Jesus Prevails Church, and you will see Woman of Excellence conference and you can attend virtually.
Yeah, so you can just go and watch again. You learn so much because the content is still online. Yeah. So you can follow the show still bado iko. So if you missed at least to be here physically, you can still watch the show online, the event online.
Karibuni sana. It was a beautiful event. The theme was a woman ablaze for God.
Yeah.
Yani mwanamke
anawaka moto.
Moto wa injili ya Mungu.
And remember you are told just kukuwa tu mwanamke mwenye ako kwa moto, yani ile one of our guests aliongelea about as women being on fire for God. Yeah, and what exactly that means. But then tunawaambia just a recap of what happened on that day. So tunawaambia kila kitu, you'll go and follow online. Just being a woman on fire for God, what exactly that means, and how do we keep ourselves on fire. And some of the things I learned was just staying in prayer. For you to be a woman on fire for God, you have to be prayerful.
Yes.
That fire is not just ignited evil. You have to be a very prayerful person. So pale kwa magoti hapo ndo unawasha moto. Yeah, and we say
pepeta.
Yes, and we say that moto inawaka in a way that haichomi wengine, right?
Yeah, Elisama, the fire is not consuming you. The fire is like you need to be like the burning bush, the bush that is burning without being consumed. And when people are lost like Moses, you just go to that. You are the bush. They come to you, then they find purpose and direction.
Hallelujah.
Mambo
ilikuwa moto. Sana.
Bado even sisi tunawambia that you should be ablaze for God. And a woman who is ablaze for God, a woman is a woman who is hidden in prayer. Is a woman who is excellent. Yes. A woman who is refined.
A woman who surrounds herself also with good people.
Yes. A woman who has an altar that she prays for.
Very, very true. Yeah.
Yes. So mambo hapo yalikuwa mazito. We cannot even give you a drop in the ocean. You will have to go and watch. And
there was so much to learn from. In fact, that day wasn't enough. So don't worry. We will communicate because now we are learning another one. Yes. Moto. This one will be mother-daughter
in August.
Hiyo itakuwa moto.
We are doing things. It's amazing.
We must rise up for God.
Yes. And we pray that even as you pray, you'll pray that you shall be part of what God is doing.
Yeah.
Yes.
Very, very true.
And you tell God, don't let it happen without me. Yes. So today, in our show today, leo katika show yetu.
Leo katika ukumbi huu.
Wacha ukumbi is a gathering. So
the platform.
Ukumbi is a gathering or a hall. You guys will know about
Kiswahili si mdomo chetu.
Yes.
Wacha tuendelee.
So today we are still talking about healing. We have been talking about healing a lot. And we are in a season in the biblical calendar called Iyar. And Iyar is a lot.
It's a month of with healing. Very true.
Yeah, and for some reason, even us, we can't find ourselves talking something yani mazungumzo yetu yote yanahusiana na healing. So we can't find ourselves talking something else that is not talking about healing. I hope I'm making sense. Kizungu hapo imenichoroka. So we are still talking about healing. But sasa mimi na Mish tumekaa hivi tukaona in our generation, this current one, or even the previous one of our mothers also, of our parents, but mostly this one, wenye wako katika hii soko ya kudate, hii soko ya kuchumbiana, hii soko ya kutafuta mume na mke, a lot of us are hurt.
Very true.
Yeah. A lot of us, it will be a mistake just to talk about traumas of childhood and traumas of just the person as you are, or things that happen to you that are not your fault. And we fail to talk about traumas in relationships and healing that is required in relationships.
Yeah, because traumas in relationship mostly zingine don't happen even during childhood.
Yes.
Zingine they happen when you're an adult.
Yani zingine tu ni mtu alikubali shetani amtumie akakuharibia your next 5 years or 6 years or even 1 year. And it changed your outlook in life altogether. So we are talking about those traumas and that healing that is required from such pains. Yeah. And we have found ourselves finding different kinds of people who are hurt. Tulikuwa tunasema kuna wale wanapatangwa tu na ile kitu. Then they view every relationship like theirs. and they tell you you will end in premium tears.
It's so sad that that's what's happening in the current life today. Relationships ziko hivyo. Yani most people are hurt. Either you are hurt or yani it's not easy to find two people who are coming together to have a relationship without having those relationship traumas. No, at one point or another. I think right now people are so bitter about relationship, and that's why easy phrases are it will end up in tears. Why will people say that? Why will someone say it will end up in tears? Why will someone say premium tears loading? Because people are hurting. People have gone through those traumas in relationship, and now they are carrying them, as in it's like part and parcel
of them.
Yes.
The first thing when you talk about relationship, you'll just talk about how someone hurt you.
Very
or
true.
How kwanza kuna ka statement ka soko ni chafu. Not even soko ni chafu. We are not refusing soko ni chafu, but bado we are talking about how people are hurt.
That's a very interesting term by the way I've ever heard. It is soko ni chafu. They say ni kuoga na kurudi soko, and then
the streets are bad.
Yeah,
the streets are not good because clearly there are a lot of hurt. There's a lot of hurt around, and people are hurt either from mistakes they committed themselves or mistakes that people did to them, things that people did to them, forgiveness of oneself or forgiveness of others. Yeah, and the people have not let go of hurt, and some of them even change. And say, because someone did this to me, I'm going to do this to another 10 people.
It's like a revenge mission.
Yeah, a revenge mission. And the funny thing, you don't revenge the person who did it to you. They revenge it to other 100 people.
But do you know even that, hey, there's a friend who gave me a scenario where there's a girl, I think in campus. I don't know if this thing happens a lot in campus. So kuna ude malikuwa na date a guy. Then this guy hurt her. So the girl, of course, alikuwa so bitter. So when the guy came back to apologize, the lady accepted the apology, haraka, but she planned her revenge back. So they came back, they reunited, they started dating again. Ikafika point where now the guy wants to go to see the parents of the girl and give dowry. Them anakubali tu. So revenge yake ilikuwa siku ya kulipa dowry. She never showed up completely.
And you know how much that hurt in itself.
And then she texted the guy and told the guy, now that is my revenge.
Oh, that is
so bad. Yeah.
And now you see what you did to that guy also. You have recruited him to such a life as well.
So this guy, it will not be possible for him not to date again. Or even if he dates, how will he arrange his marriage, even just for the dowry? Because you itakuwa inamremind of what happened to the previous relationship. So anaibeba asema but this tuone tu historia ya dowry tutafanya baadaye.
Yeah. And I think hiyo inatuleta kwa hizi vitu sasa tulikuwa tunasema kuhusu the types of hurt that people can do. It can be physical, it can be emotional, it can be sexual, and it can be also financial, or even psychological and emotional. So you can say emotional. Yeah. So physical, emotional, or psychological, financial, and sexual. These are different ways that you can be hurt in a relationship, and even you might not know because you are in. Kuna wale watu making excuses for their partners. Anasema alinichapa tu lakini ni juu alikuwa amelewa hiyo siku. Labda ni juu ya pombe ilikuwa imemsumbua na kuna vitu mingi zinamsumbua akili. So akanichapa tu. So you are literally giving excuses because of this person. Hizo ndo tunaitanga rose eyes. Unamuona tu kwa macho ya mapenzi.
Only the other side.
They might be actually hurting you. And you might actually need a lot of healing, but because you're in that
so blinded
in that rose eye, you will not be able to identify, and that's why we are talking about these things, so that tujione mapema.
Yeah, leo tunaongelelea hizo such thing that happens in relationship.
Yeah.
So just let us know hapo kwa inbox kwa chat box here to let us know, have you ever found yourself in such situation?
Or if not you, you don't
someone
have to tell us about you. You can tell us ways in which people are abused
to,
and types of relationship traumas that people find themselves in. Utuambie kuna watu wanakuaga hivi na hivi na hivi. Tell us. It is you teaching us as we teach you.
As we teach you. So know how we can help one another so that you don't carry those baggages to other relationships.
That's very true. Yeah. So there's a lot of hurt to establish kuna uchungu mingi. And now, as we are noticing these types of abuses that people have gone through, it does not mean you have gone through them today.
Very true.
Only. You might have, inaweza kuwa ni kitu ilikufanyikia kitambo in a different relationship, but it is still affecting your current relationship. Yeah. So labda ni mtu kitambo alikasirika akakutusi or something, or just something alikuwa anakufanyia in your previous relationship. But in your current relationship, you keep seeing that your partner will do the same thing as your previous partner.
Very true.
Yeah, that's what we are calling trauma. You're using that event ya kitambo to make judgment for the current situation.
Very true.
Yes.
So if if for example you are married or you are dating someone in a private relationship mwenye, let's say alikuwa mlevi, anakuja anakupiga, ama ni mtu mwenye anakuja usiku anakupiga, or let's say ni mtu mwenye alikuwa there's a lady, I can't remember her name, but she's I think an influencer or someone. She said in her previous relationship she used to, alikuwa slim, ni wale kuna mwili ndogo. So the guy who was dating her that moment alimwambia, by the way, mimi tuzenda hiyo mwili yako imekauka, tuzenda mahali. And that's so painful.
Yes, very painful.
Yeah, so alikuwa anashangaa, by the way, it's true. Hata yakijengela kwa kiyo but then ni muslim. Hana any
body shape.
Yes, sasa alikuwa anasema she really struggled to get into relationship because alikuwa anashangaa, sasa nani atanipenda venye niko hivi. Yeah, so when a guy will approach her, she will use that as an example. Mimi na venye niko mslimi hivi, azini mili yangu sizipendeka, you know. But you see, the guy used to tell her, no, it's not about how you look, it's about me, I like you the way you are. But still, just that you don't trust that person.
Yeah, you cannot trust them because wewe unanidanganya, wewe unipenda venye niko. Juu mwanaume before aliniambia mimi ni mkonde, kuna mtu anaweza kaa na mimi.
Anaweza kaa. So every time akikumbuka hiyo anasema, no, this guy is lying. I don't think he's saying the truth.
That's
so
true.
Such things zinatufanya you're not even able to, it's very hard to trust the person who is coming ahead of you. No, na mtu mwenye anakuja na kwambia, you know, I love you, but the other person told you venye uko hivyo. Even I think if that case also goes even to people, single mothers and everything. So unapatanga unabeba hiyo nini yote, mzigo yote, yani hauiachi. So if anyone comes to you and even try to appreciate you, na feel you are lying.
You are lying. Actually, I have friends who would tell me, huyu ananipenda vizuri sana. Ndio maana siwezi kaa na yeye. Like, that's also a problem. Like, mimi nimezoea kupigana. Wewe nishautie ndo mimi nikushautie ndo.
But the people who love that.
Ni kama tunaendeleza kitu. But you see, that is now, you're still viewing from the other. You are used to quarrels and fighting, and you are conditioned to that. So now you're in a place where this person actually says sorry. This person actually admits they are wrong. So you're like, why are you admitting? I was ready for a fight. And you see, that's a person who needs healing as well. Yeah, so I think we'll go on and mention the types of abuse that we have seen people experience, that we have learned that people experience, in relationships, like physical abuse.
So we start with the physical abuse.
Tuanze na hiyo physical. Mambo ya physical.
Physical abuse. That hiyo ni mbaya.
Unaweza tuambia types of physical abuse ama types of any abuse in relationships.
Mangumi,
Kuchapa.
Miss, you know, that one. For me, physical abuse is something that but you see, physical abuse, I believe there's always red signs that number one always leads to physical abuse. As much as we go through physical abuse. You see, a point when you get to your partner start beating you, whether it's a lady beating the guy or the guy beating the lady, there's always a trigger towards it. And most of the time we find ourselves in that position because sometimes I feel like we either allow ourselves. The people who kuna watu wanasemanga, this person provoked me in big. But then can I say, it's a very weird scenario that happened to me. No. You see, when people say someone provoked me. I have found myself, I think this one I can say it on screen because me have never understood that scenario. I found myself at a point where someone provoked me. I just don't know how my hand raised from where it was, but then my hand flew to their face. God forgive me. I can't remember. See, it's an action up to there. I always ask myself, how did my hand?
How did you get there?
Yes. Do you know after... But they slapped that person.
Yeah.
Do you know after
I
slap?
would not like to be that person.
I know after slapping that person.
Hallelujah.
I was like, wait, did I just slap this person? But then I ran away.
You should laugh.
Yes, I realized, how did I even slap? Then I didn't slap upper. In fact, you know, though you don't even expect someone to beat you. So this physical abuse, sometimes
you are violent.
No, I'm not violent.
I don't know
how it happened. It was at a point of being provoked. So I was like, no, I didn't do this. You did it. I didn't do it. I didn't do it. It happened. I don't know how it happened, but now through that scenario, every day it reminds me. Also, sometimes people can be provoked to an extent. You don't even know how. I think. Hapo mimi neza sema mtu akisema I don't know how it happened.
Your statements minaiogopa sana.
I know, but
I don't like it because there is always a reason to why something happens, especially you as an adult. So I think even if you sat with yourself, when the two upon you,
me I feel like it's the provoking part that ilifanya mkono wangu ika.
But at what point did you get to this point that this person has annoyed you to a point where you can resolve to hitting the person?
You see, for example,
is it something that you had not managed?
Now, let me give you an example. If, for example, you lose your phone, right? And then you come and tell me, give me that phone that you stole, straight to my eyes. Then I tell you, no, I didn't steal the phone. No, give me that phone. So you keep on saying, you stole, give me that phone, you stole. I say, I didn't steal. So because you're insisting, I didn't steal. What?
Your case,
no, I know it doesn't sound funny. It doesn't really sound nice. But what I'm trying to say is physical abuse, it gets to a point where there's always some triggers.
Yeah.
You know, there's some triggers. And for you to get a point where sasa unapigwa and then maybe you stay, you know, it starts with a small thing.
Yeah.
Then inaenda inazaana inakuwa. So ikishafika hapo, now unakuwa ulishakuwa, it's like some people, you know, they get abused to an extent, even their bodies are deformed.
Yeah.
Physical abuse can be that bad. It can even be fatal.
That's true. That's true. Physical abuse it's not something to, but it is present in, it's a form of abuse first.
Very true.
It is a form of abuse in relationships. And it's very interesting that women that are abused in relationships, they don't live, even men, because there are women who beat men.
I remember there's a storybook that we used to read.
Yeah, because there are women who live with men and they get to an extent of emasculating the men to a point of the men being abused. There was a while back where we used to see men from Nyeri being abused by women. Yeah.
Yes, I remember.
So those men were literally emasculated and then they were abused. They were being beaten up. So it's very possible. And not the funniest thing, the saddest thing about it is that they don't leave. Because I think there's a point in which abuse forms a part of, to the point that you don't leave this person.
It's like umezoea your lifestyle.
Ama huyu tu ndo anaweza nipenda juu mimi nakaa vile. Yani nakaa tu hivyo. Yeah. So that's one form of abuse, physical abuse. I think also another form of physical abuse is kuwa deprived, kunyimwa basic needs. Because there are people who do that. People can be bad. And we cannot just say ati ni away from our society, away from church. Even some people can get to such points of abuse. Napata huyu akupeangi chakula, ule amenikasirisha leo, kuli kwangu leo.
But that is very true.
Haulali kwangu leo, endo utafute mahali pa kulala. Huyo mtu amekunyima your basic need, shelter. Wewe unataka uwezi vaa hizo, kazi yako ni kuvaa nguo mbaya hizi matambara, uwezi vaa nguo nzuri. You know, people are abused in such forms. And
it is sad that at that point where we are kwa abuse, especially when umesema mtu anakuambia usilale hapa, tafuta mahali pa kulala. The following day, tomorrow, you still come back and say, can we now come back and sleep? That is the sad thing about it. Tunarudi.
Yeah, that's the sad thing. That toxic people don't. That people who are people who are abused. They find it very hard to leave those abusive relationships. So that was just one part of abuse.
And so, by the way, I also feel like there are some cultures up to today that believe when there is beating, is kind of to wanasemanga tu munyoroshe tu kidogo atakuwa sawa. You know, I remember there's a set book that we used to read. I don't know if it's A Man of the People or which one, that used to say about men beating women, and it will say a little slap on the cheek will work miracle.
Oh wow!
I don't know that one. That book, like that kind of phrase.
Yes. That's still
So we are talking about abuse in relationships. So for you, if you to know the type of relationship that you are,
or you went through.
Tunaongea about the physical abuse ambao ni beating. So when you're in a relationship yenye unapigwa, you are not in a healthy relationship. You are being abused physically.
And you need a lot of healing.
Yes, and
beyond kupona hiyo mali umepigwa. So healing, another point of abuse is the emotional abuse. Hapa kwa emotional/psychological abuse. Although all abuses, I think, affect your emotions and psychology as well. But ni poa pia kuna hizi zenye you can't point at it until I explain to you an entire scenario. And there is no abuse that is better than the other.
No.
Lakini emotional is really bad because you can hide it well.
Yeah.
You can give us a picture of a picture-perfect relationship, but in the real sense, you go through a lot of emotional abuse.
And that is the major cause of depression. Because for physical, it's easy to know mse amepigwa.
Tutaona black eye, tutaona maalama, tutaona ukuli umekonda, hiyo tutaona. But sasa
emotional is hard. You see, if you're beaten like physically, hata ukienda hospitali, I think there's hospital that was not handle gender-based violence. I think even Nairobi women does that, so that when you go there, you get treated for that. But you see now that for emotional, no one identifies that. It's very hard.
Yeah, and you know, sasa kama emotional now, an example of an emotional abuse ni kama verbal abuse. Kama huyo mwenye alikuwa anatusiwa ni mkonde. That is already abuse for that person. Yeah. So huyo mtu tayari already usha affect their esteem, their self-esteem is already done for. And then another example of abuse, emotional, can you talk about manipulation? Manipulation, this can come from both women and men. Not kitambo is when you used to say, men do this in a relationship, men do this in a relationship. But now we've also noticed that women also have a hand in it, and not just a small one, a big one. They can manipulate. They can make people. We were reading the definition of manipulation with you, and I think you were talking about it and saying it is an imbalance of power.
Yes.
Yani, manipulation causes an imbalance of power. Inamaanisha the person where you thought this one has set their foot on the ground, you make sure you look for a way to deprive that power from them. Kama sasa, case an example, you use kama something has happened. You can cause, how can I say it? Like you cause a problem. Like tunajua vizuri wewe Mish, ndo umeanzisha hii vita yote. Lakini juu ni wewe na unataka kutumanipulate sisi wote. Umeanzisha shida yote. You will blame it on someone else.
Very true.
Na baada ya kublame on someone else, it is not the end of it. You had an end goal. Yeah? So wewe end goal yako ikifanyika, vita inaisha. Yeah. So let's say, for example, also you are planning on what? On
even in manipulation also comes in terms of roles. Let's say even in careers, because you can be in a relationship where because you are a level higher than the other one. So you feel like everything you say or you suggest lazima ikuwe na make point, lazima ikuwe na skika. That me, if I find this happening especially to the difference in education levels. Unaona, so kuna mtu anaweza kuwa hajasoma sana na mwingine amesoma sana. So the one mwenye ako in that position, it is easy to manipulate huyu kuchini because namba najua hata mwanzo wewe hata
na si unaona amedeprive you mwenye uko kuchini of the power that they had.
Very true.
Whether they knew it or not.
Yeah.
I think it's also it's I think manipulation is, I think maybe it's a sin. It should be considered a sin.
Of course it is a sin.
Because
it is a sin.
Something, it's not, it's like it's abusing this person. Even you are actually abusing how much they know. Yeah? Because uko kama, let me give another example is
manipulators, kitu ndogo they can just turn a small thing against you. Ama they create a big thing out of a small thing.
A small thing.
Yeah.
I'm looking for a good example in a relationship setup. Let's say we were to do what now? Give me an example. Something that people in a relationship can do.
For me, I feel like maybe in a relationship people are dating. Mtu moja anaweza. You see, for example, if you let me use this because it happens most of the time. Wewe ni demu na date mtu mwenye si alcoholic. Okay, you the guy. Okay, I'm supposed to talk about a good relationship, but I'm using this as an example. You are there as a good person. You don't drink. You're born again. You don't go out. And then you are here dating someone who does all this. Naona. So the person can even pretend to wameacha hiyo kitu. Or you can find yourself adapting to their behavior. Just utaki mkelele. So me, especially people say, I see this, my person like watching football. So they watch football hadi usiku, let's say saa 9 usiku. And for me, I don't like watching football. But because sitaki vita, you know. So let me just watch your football hadi usiku. And yet you know it's very wrong. But now you have to adapt to their lifestyle. They make you feel like, as in, this is what I like. So why don't you like it? So you find yourself living their lifestyle because you are trying to avoid the conflict. Utaki mpigane. So tunasema mimi sitaki kelele. Mimi sitaki kelele. So wacha tu, let me just live the way this person wants to avoid conflict.
Yeah, or even I have another one. Let's say even in marriage, because marriage also has
conflicts also
as well. I think this is a basic problem, just a normal one. Let's say we were to go to, or you were to go to a place tomorrow. Like me and you are, okay, a man and a woman are in a relationship and they were to go to a place tomorrow. And maybe we are going to see, a good example, we're going to see someone, or there's a church event, or family, whoever. And then I don't want to go. Me as the wife, I don't want to go there. You know, I will look for the one mistake this person has done and I will get angry over. So you see, I have created a problem from something so small.
Very true.
Like, umeniongelesha vibaya. And I create I make that a very big problem to the point of tomorrow you are to wake up and go somewhere, but there's no way we will wake up and go to that place because even there's so much chaos in our... So you have manipulated the entire household to go according to what you wanted at the end. And maybe even after that event is over, now you will be okay. You'll say, you know, it's okay. You don't have to shout at me anymore. I am fine. And you go on with life. But you know the real thing is the impact. The idea was like it, or when you want, I think we will see that one in financial abuse. When you want money from someone, and instead of asking them, can you please help me with this and this and this? This is the situation that we have. You create a problem and make it the problem. And once you make it the problem, you find a way of siphoning money from this person. Because that is manipulation.
I have seen that. this might be a bit sensitive, but I have seen, especially in marriage, where let's say for a woman, let's say your husband earns money, it makes good money, of course, and you want to, let's say you want to buy shoes. And then you come to me, how much is this shoes? I say, this shoes is 2,000. And then you call your hubby and tell him, I have found the shoes, but it is 5,000.
Oh, anamuiba. Anamrusha 3,000.
So unarusha 3,000. Unaambia mse wa kiatu wetu yako 2 nirushe yangu 3.
That is so bad.
Yeah,
that is even stealing.
Yeah, sometimes
that is physical. And that is all of them 3 put together. Amemuiba huyo mse.
Yeah, now you see, if this guy finds out, hautakosa excuse ya kujitetea. You know, last time nilikusha pesa nini ukunipea so lazima
hata nilikuwa nafuliza, ilikuwa nafaa kulipa nini.
Yeah, you always so have bad. A reason to get out of that.
Yeah, that is so bad. Another thing we talked about, apart from manipulation, kulikuwa na narcissism. Narcissism.
Yeah.
Being narcissistic. Watu narcissistic. Au ni watu wa gani? Nasema, he's a narcissist. That man is a narcissist. That woman is a narcissist. Who is a narcissist, Mish?
For me, I feel narcissism. Narcissism is not a mental. It's not something that someone was born with. I find narcissism or narcissists being people who it's a character. It's something that developed either in their life, at a one point in their life. Kuna kitu ilikuwa inakuwa ndani yao that made them to be narcissists. It just doesn't happen. People say someone is a narcissist, but they were not born like that. I have realized narcissist has something to do even with childhood growing and upbringing and everything, because these people have some characters that when you look at them, you realize huyu mtu hakuzali. There's something that was birthed in them that made them who they are now. Because most of them, they feel so entitled. Narcissists are so entitled.
Yeah.
They take pride in themselves. They don't, yani ni watu wenye, everything has to be about them. Unaona, they don't, alafu I find narcissists wanakuanga na some kind of entitlement in a way that everything has to be around about them. Yani kila kitu iko tu about them. Wao ndo wako sawa, wao ndo wanafaa kusikizwa, wao ndo make decisions, wao ndo take charge. Such kind, they're so controlling also.
Yeah. And I think narcissists wakikukatia, let me say kukatia, wakikukatia, they have very strong forms of affection.
Maneno matamu.
Anakukatia, yani dunia nzima inaona enye huyu mwanaume, huyu mwanaume anakupenda. You know, narcissists are so bad to the point of hata wewe ukaniambia, nikakuja nikwambie huyu mtu ni mbaya, amenifanya hivi, nitakwambia wewe unaekelea na hiyo, unamwekelea kabisa,
because you don't see,
because he builds a very good social network, first social capital, and then secondly he makes his image is everything.
Especially if it's around you. Yes. You find him, yani ana make sure kama ni wewe.
Kama ni mandugu na madada zako wote ameweka kwa mfuko, yani hata ukienda kwa sister yako, this one happened. You can't be talking about that person.
That guy is a
you are lying. What did you do for him to do that? You know, have you ever been in a situation where someone wrongs you and then everyone looks at you?
Yeah. They're like
and then you're like, Mona mnaniangalia, it is him. He's the one who did this and this and this and this and this. But no one looks at, everyone sees you are the problem because the image this person has created is very beautiful.
People look at me, he's a very nice guy.
He's the ideal.
They have very sweet words. Mandomo yao ina flow very.
The proclamation of love is out there.
Out of the world.
Out of the world for everyone to see. But in closed doors, they manipulate you. Even when they're on the wrong, they make you even apologize. Yeah?
Very true.
They don't have empathy. Unashinda na kitu ndogo aje kama hii. Hii kitu ni ya kushinda mtu. Hii kitu kinipea nitafanya in 1 minute. They don't help you, they don't empathize with you, they don't sympathize with you, they leave you with a problem. And imagine now you're married to such a person. See utanini. That's true. Yeah. Uh, it becomes a problem. Mm, yeah. Mm, yeah. Mm. They want to control. They are control. They want power. Yeah. So I think ukijipata kwa hiyo kitu, it is not a, and I think that's why you are saying, I think we were reading and you were saying that it is not something that people get ati unapewa dawa inapona. It is something that the narcissist himself has or herself has to see and understand that this is their problem and deal with it every time it shows up, kwa sababu ni kitu amelelewa nayo. You know, like our narcissist venye umesema, I think he gave an example of a small child who has been amekosewa, amechokozwa, and then akuja kwambia mom nimechokozwa, and then instead of saying
wewe ulifanya nini,
nini mmefanyiana, unasema nani yeye anachokoza mtoto wangu, wacha nini nimtafute, and you punish that person. So this child will grow up knowing mimi sifai ku nikiumizana ama nikiumizwa mimi sifai kufanya,
mimi ndo nafaa kuomba msamaha,
and since it's something that has grown with them, it has been a conditioning for them. Yani it's something they have grown up knowing. So before you change such a person, it takes time. Before such a person changes, it takes a lot of time of unlearning the things that he has grown up with. And that's why when we started talking about healing, we did not go directly into relationships. We started as an individual person. What are the toxic traits that you have? So that when you come to this point of healing, we will be able to say, we talked about traumas of people. Tukisema healing, most of the time, it goes back to how you were raised, your childhood issues. We were saying, watoto wawili wanaweza kuwa in one household, but their childhoods are completely different. Yeah. The way I explain my childhood is not the way my small sister will explain her childhood. It's not the same way my big brother will explain his childhood. Yet we were in the same house. So that's why people need to heal from the root all the way, so that by the time you're in a relationship, you don't get to handle such issues. But now, sasa wewe ulishajipata hapo. So we are trying to show you that this person can have a narcissistic behavior. Inakaa hivi. Inakaa mtu akona very loud proclamation of your love in the beginning stages. They are very passionate. They have strong forms of affirmation. Yani wanaweza kuja tu hivyo kupea hata ni gari mpya na mko in your third date. Nyingine akuje akununulie nyumba.
Sasa nao unafikiria hapo unapendwa.
Wewe unaona hii mapenzi imepita nini imepita mipaka.
Lakini sasa nao akisha kununulia hiyo gari. Akisha kununulia hiyo nyumba. Now it's like now sasa wewe ni slave.
Sasa you are mine. I have given you everything. So I need to know who you talk to. Give me that phone. I need to check your phone. Where are you going? Not in a way of concern, but in a way of
controlling,
and control. They are possessive and controlling.
I've had even people who say, I paid your dowry and I paid a lot of money. I bought you. So no need. I will be the one to say where you are going. If they're going to see your parents, I will decide because I bought you.
And mind you, it's not only for men. Even women do this. Even women emasculate men to this point.
Very true.
So anasema, I picked you up. This house I built for you. I did this one for you. Who are you to tell me what to do? Kidogo umfukuze, get out of my house. Because you have yani
it happens.
possessive kabisa. So I think it's an emotional abuse, and people who have gone through these things, even to go into new relationships,
they struggle.
Takes a lot.
Not very true. They really struggle,
and that's why we have to say people have to go to do the work of healing, and it's not easy. That's why we are calling it work.
Yeah,
we are not saying Ati you have to run through healing. No, we even say we call it a journey.
It's a journey, because then you cannot say it, just move on, you'll heal along the way. It's just a journey on its own.
No, you can't.
But then that oga rudi soko has nothing to do with. I imagine that's a very wrong phrase.
It does not bring.
You cannot just get out of a funny relationship and then umeoga umerudi soko. Which market are you going?
In fact, kuoga kurudi soko is a form of coping. It's a coping mechanism. It's not a healing.
Yeah,
it's not
very
part
true.
Of healing. Because coping mechanism inakupea to alternatives. It doesn't make you deal with the problem at hand. It makes you inactive. So you exist with your problem, but you exist doing other things. In this case, kuoga na kurudi soko. It is important for you to go through the journey and do the work of healing. It is work.
Healing is a lot of work.
It is work.
It's
because
a
if
lot of work.
you think you have such narcissistic behavior, you have to sit with yourself. Every time it's about to show up, you have to sit down and ask yourself, why am I about to do this? Is it necessary? Do they have to see me as such and such a person? If I refrain and sit back, will it make me less of a person? You know, you have to sit and see where it shows up every single time until your biggest triggers are removed. Otherwise, you will go to the next relationship. If you are with one with a narcissistic person, you'll go to the next one and you will expect them to be possessive of you. And you will think they have neglected you. But in the real sense, that's how a normal one works. They will tell you, you go and tell me what you'll find out in the evening. They will not follow up with calls. They will not be, unafanya nini? Uko na nani? They will not be unbothered. It is just that they respect you and believe that you are responsible as an adult. Yani, they are not as possessive as the previous one. So you always have to. That's why we need to heal, whether you are you are the narcissistic one
yourself or
you are with the narcissistic one.
Yeah, because of time, we have so much to talk about.
Yeah, and we want to talk about financial abuse.
Yes, on that issue of narcissism, I was thinking also in the near future, because we'll have a topic on parenthood and upbringing of children and everything, because this one has a lot to do with parenting, and sometimes it is so sad that even through parenting we create such people, we create narcissists, we create, because mtu hajazaliwa hivyo tu. Yani imagine ukilea mtoto akuja kwe shida kwa mtoto wa mwingine. So just kulea tu mtoto vizuri na kuacha mtoto asifeeling entitled. Nataka hii unampea, nataka hii unampea. So akikuwa mkubwa kinyimwa, like mimi sijazoea kunyimwa. Wewe ni nani unaninyima? Who are you? No. Who are you to tell me no? I've never been told no in my entire life. Who are you?
I used to have a phrase when he was saying, sasa mimi nimeng'ang'ana, nimelea huyu mtoto wangu. Nimelea msichana wangu, nikamlea. Lakini kuna mtu ako huko, hujamuita, hujampigia simu akuje, amekuja tu. Lakini ameharibu
kila kitu.
Whatever you have built, I have invested in, but this person just comes and in the course of 1 year, my entire child is starting from zero. So it is important to be very careful when you're parenting. I think parenting is sacred. It's something that God literally has to show you from point 1 all the way until they are old and grey. It's very important. So I think we'll also talk about financial abuse. We have seen financial abuse. And have you ever seen cases where mwanaume kasirika kwa hiyo nyumba hakutakuwa na pesa for the next 1 month?
Hakuna.
Mjipange. Mseme kwenye itatoka. If he is the provider, he says, even if you have money, you know your money does this part, and then this other part is the man's part. But he refuses to facilitate his financial duties because he was angry or he has had a bad week or he doesn't want to.
So I'm not paying rent.
I'm not paying
paying school fees.
How can I pay rent for people who live in this house?
Whatever, jipangeni, jipange.
And kesho maybe hata kuja na gari mpya lakini hamna rent.
If I had people say, we make money but it doesn't provide food, we don't eat, we don't see, I don't do this, that's financial abuse.
That is financial abuse. There is also financial abuse in the case of I go to work, I work so hard, and then we get money. So when the family gets money, the other partner takes the money and says, now this money, I shall control how it comes out, and no one else is to question this money. He's not worked, he's not taken, it's not his money, or it's not our money the way we say it. He'll just take it and possess it and control it kabisa kabisa.
Yeah, even if it's also his money or her money still, there are a point where you're saying, don't question me about that.
Don't question about me about
Don't question. Yes, that is abuse.
I am the man in this house.
Yes, I'm the one to decide whatever this money will do. Yours is to agree or say you agree to disagree or disagree to agree, whatever way you do it, but have the final say.
I have the final say. Yeah. So that is financial abuse as well. There's also financial abuse in the form of sasa mimi nimeolewa lakini sasa nitakuja na shida za uncles, aunties,
a whole entire village.
My entire village will be taken care of by one tap.
Like
my partner.
Like, babe, my sister is in the hospital. She needs like 20,000.
20,000. Okay. I
forgot to tell you.
The cousin of my uncle. No, the neighbor of my friend. No, the sister to my Yani. You overwhelm one person with so much responsibility. Hadi ya uko kijijini kwenyu uko ndani. Now you know very well he's not able to. He cannot accommodate all that.
Do you know how that abuse comes? If the partner knows, for example, my husband earns 1 million. So you are like,
unapangia ya 1 million.
So it's like, my sister wants 20,000 for the, and you say you don't have a. No, you cannot say you don't have. Just 20.
It's 20.
I'm just asking you
to all of this money.
Yes, I'm just asking you 20. Then you, okay, fine, take. Kidogo, my mom didn't. If you say, I know, I just sent your sister, I know, but you're not asking for much. It's just 50,000. You're making 1 million for heaven's sake. I'm just asking for 50,000. So that is it's also manipulation.
Yeah, it's also manipulation and, also, and it's financial abuse because that's the money they have worked for. And something that people never understand is that this person, this partner who is giving this money, instead of doing it out of love, they will end up doing it out of a responsibility, and later on it will brew up as resentment.
Very true.
End up kuchukia au watu wote amekuwa anasaidia. Jua watoto wamesaidia pia wao watakuja wajisaidie. Wa end up yani they grow up also as well. And when you see that cousin blooming and blooming and looking good and all that, yeye atabaki pale juu ulisiphon yote ikaenda huko. Sasa back in the same place. And he will be looking at those people and say, me, I helped you. But in the real sense, you are just resentful towards them.
Sometimes some people feel they are being used.
Yeah.
Being used.
Which is true, they were being used.
You feel like I've seen that even in terms of marriage where you take care of your kid, then for example, but in Mbaya you separate, a divorce, and then your children goes with another one partner and unabaki yule unalipanga tu school fees, wewe tumanga tu school fees. Sasa unajua sasa wewe ule mwingine ameambiwa akae na watoto wewe kaanza kunituma school fees. You see, in that process of tuma school fees unatuma, they grow up, they become adults, they start telling you, but you're never in my life. But literally uko unaambanga wewe ulipa school fees,
you are deprived of being.
So you feel like I was being used. Naona.
So abuse financially is present. So sidhaningi ati juu haja kuchapa, juu haja kutusi, juu haja kumanipulate, haja kufunika, haja kufukuza, then he's not, ama she's not doing something wrong to you. But no, hata ile ati we are both earning, mimi napata pesa na feature.
Kuna hiyo mwanzo iko sana.
Yani unajua your partner hayuko vizuri kabisa, hayuko. Yani hadi hata kuna tokens kwa nyumba, lakini unapata do unasema
toka kwa giza hivyo.
Wacha tukae kwa giza hadi yapate pesa. That is also financial abuse. Because you are abusing this person. Sikupenda kwake hana. But now, because you have and you don't want to use, you want to use theirs.
We were in argument with someone who was telling me, no, there's no way, if both of us, we don't have money. I have gone to look for it. Then let also the other partner go to look for it. If I go to look for it and I get it, the other person, him or she, comes back without it. Then why does he want me to use mine? I have gone to look for it. That means you did not go to look for it. Yani ukutia bidii kutafuta. So mimi nimetia bidii nikatafuta, nikapata 10. Na wewe umekuja mkono kavu. So hii sitoi hadi wewe. You know?
Yeah. So all these are forms of abuse.
Yeah.
All these we've also not talked about sexual abuse.
Before you go there, let me just read comment from one of some of our viewers. We have Monica Nduta. She says, women are blessed for God. Thank you, Monica. Regina John. Regina is saying, watching with you. So why are you talking about? Why are we talking about healing in relationship? We've been talking about several traumas, several abuse, several things that we struggle with as Christians, as women of God, as children of God. And we are putting these topics of discussion because we are having a guest next week. We are trusting God our guest will be available. Now to be able to go deeper now about these relationship traumas, emotional trauma, physical trauma, because that will be when we'll be ending this show on healing and forgiveness.
Yes.
So we brought about these topics just for us to think about them. And next Tuesday, tunataka mkaribie mkuje kwa wingi, and we'll have a guest. So we'll want many questions as possible. Tafadhali, engage us and let our guests be able to answer some of the questions that we will not have talked about or answered about healing.
There are also a few parts of healing, of traumas that we've not talked about. We've not talked about self-sabotage. We've not talked about abuse from tribal lines. And we've also talked about, I think those two are the ones that have come, and sexual abuse.
And the sexual abuse, yes.
Yeah. I was going to talk about this.
Sexual abuse in relationship?
Yeah, sexual abuse in relationships. I think that one is self-explanatory. There's rape. When you just, when someone or the person you're in a relationship has sex with you, mostly marriage, because that's where sex is encountered, without your consent, that is also abuse.
That is abuse, very
because they
true.
have forced themselves on you. It will be consensual. Yeah. And also, there's also...
depriving... just depriving also, from one another.
Depriving sex is also
abuse.
It's also abuse. But unasema nina fast for the next 5 months. 5 months. There's you as a wife, you say there's no getting close to.
Uko milimani.
Uko milimani for 5 months. Surely. Tunakuona.
That is abuse.
Ni abuse. So another is tribal lines. You know, there are some people who still say, my grandparents or my great-grandparents or my auntie or my father said that this house will not marry anyone from
this tribe,
from this certain tribe, or this, or example, let's say, hakuna Mkikuyu ama hakuna Mkamba ama hakuna Mjaluo ama hakuna atawai kanyaga kwangu. So it means those children were told never to do this or this or this or this, and it becomes abuse because you're like, this person, I can even if we are dating, I cannot take you
home.
Yeah, because you are this certain tribe and you ilikatazwa kwetu.
Yeah.
So I think that is also a challenge.
That's a challenge. This one abuse, because you see, I did not choose myself to be born in that tribe. And you have the reason why you want to be with me, because you have seen me as a person, my characters, and you've loved them. But the fact that I've just said I am from this tribe, now everything now changes.
And it will form traumas also, because you will never enter a relationship with such a person, even if they are good people.
Do you know? Hey, I remember some time back. I don't want to say tribe. Let me talk about it. But people lie. People lie. I had even people who go to abroad. They lie about their tribe, because this tribe has been known for this and this in this place. So you even changing your name, even your native name. Yes, you change it because your tribe is being associated with this. So because hata wewe unaona ku affect na bidi to change jina ama udanganye hii ni kabila yangu, maybe until you come and reveal. Sometimes it gets to that.
It's so bad. It is so bad. Yeah, and also self-sabotage. You find a person, they are treating you so well because you are in a very brutal and abusive relationship. So you are being treated well, and there are no arguments that are aggressive. No one is abusing you. So you
don't want
you sabotage it literally. You cause chaos and say, you are not a good person because of this and this and this. In fact, I can't continue with you.
You want to fight.
And people do that. They actually do.
This person is too good for me.
It's not even too good for me. Why is he like this? Why is he helping me a lot? You can't be helping me a lot. That is my space, you know. So in that way you self-sabotage, and that you're working from trauma. Trauma is informing you to self-sabotage. Or even others who self-sabotage because they are looking for the previous partner in their new partner. Yeah, they are like
ule akukua hivi
ule alikuwa ananipiga na ngoja huyu najua nikimfanyia hivi lazima huyu pia atanipiga. So you're ready to find the previous partner in your
I didn't know there are people who are so used to abuse. It's just part of them. They cannot live in a peaceful place.
Yeah, and that's why abused people never even leave those abusive relationships, because that's what they are used to. They are conditioned to that, and it is not healthy. People need to heal. So in our next show, we will also look at now the other side of all these sorts of abuse.
Yeah. And also how to have a healthy relationship, and how to identify even these things, even those red flags before you get into relationships.
Yeah. And we were reading a Bible verse, and it was in Exodus chapter.
Let me see. Exodus 15.
Exodus 15. Verse 26. Yes. And it was talking about how the Israelites were in the desert somewhere. And then they met the waters of Mara that were bitter. And they had to be made sweet for them to partake. Yeah, and I think me and you are laughing and saying, I think some relationships are these bitter waters. And for you to go through this work of healing. And even walking out of them, you have to listen to God and hearken to what God is saying. As the verse says, listen to God diligently, and you will hear him help you know how to make these waters of relationships sweet. And sometimes it will need you to go and cry out to him and listen to what he says. Because at that point, the verse says that he told Moses to cut a tree and place it in the water. So I don't know what your action of cutting the tree and placing it in the water will be. Maybe it will be working out. Maybe it will be noticing your chaos. Maybe it will be telling this person, I'm not good for you. Let me heal first and go. And that is the way that your waters will be sweet for drinking again. And the verse down there is very beautiful. It helps. It says that the Lord continued and settled them in wells, in the 12 wells. Yeah. And they settled there for a while. So God will also take you to better places. Once you have known how to hearken to what he says at a time of bitterness. And let me tell you, these guys were just in the desert. So greater things were coming to them. Greater relationships, greater marriages will be coming to you if you get to listen to what God is saying.
Yeah.
Wow,
that is so deep. So I guess our viewers, you are learning something, and also we are learning something through this process of healing and forgiveness. Because the time is not on our side, as you can see. So we will continue on this topic more next week, but we will have a
We
guest.
wrap it up
Yes.
with our guests.
Yes, with our guests. Na najua we'll ask these toughest questions and that we've had through the conversations. Na zenye pia utakuwa umekuja nazo, please share there so that we can be able to ask our guests. Let us get help.
Yeah.
Let us help someone out there who is going through such or who is in a such situation right now. Yeah, this has been a lovely show, by the way.
Yes.
I like talking about healing. It's a broad topic.
broad
Tuwezi
one.
maliza.
Yeah, tuwezi.
I think we will revisit it again, maybe before the year ends, because it's a broad. We have not talked about so many things about healing.
Yes.
Yeah, so I've been your host, Miriam Wambua.
And me, Suzanne Callisto. And we are wrapping it up. So good night.
Good night. Good night. Good night. Thank you for tuning in. Bye-bye.
Are you ready to be inspired, empowered, and uplifted? Get ready for a brand new show that celebrates the incredible journey of women everywhere.
From the comfort of your home, interact with us through our YouTube and Facebook channel, Jesus Prevails Church, for an hour filled with inspiration, wisdom, and faith. It is a platform where we delve into stories of remarkable women who blossom and thrive through grace, beauty, and modesty.
As we embark on this incredible journey together, we draw inspiration from Proverbs 31:10-12. In a world where noble character is a rare gem, there shines a woman who embodies the essence of Proverbs 31.
Join us every Tuesday from 8 p.m. as we embark on an interactive session like no other. Introducing
The Woman of Excellence Show. Join us for the Woman of Excellence Show.
because you, my friend,
Are a woman of excellence. Are you ready to be inspired, empowered, and uplifted? Get ready for a brand new show that celebrates the incredible journey of women everywhere.
from the comfort of your home, interact with us through our YouTube and Facebook channel, Jesus Prevails Church, for an hour filled with inspiration, wisdom, and faith. It is a platform where we delve into stories of remarkable women who blossom and thrive through grace, beauty, and modesty.
As we embark on this incredible journey together, we draw inspiration from Proverbs 31:10-12. In a world where noble character is a rare gem, there shines a woman who embodies the essence of Proverbs 31.
Join us every Tuesday from 8 p.m. as we embark on an interactive session like no other. Introducing
The Woman of Excellence Show. Join us for the Woman of Excellence Show.
because you, my friend,
Are a woman of excellence. Are you ready to be inspired, empowered, and uplifted? Get ready for a brand new show that celebrates the incredible journey of women everywhere.
from the comfort of your home, interact with us through our YouTube and Facebook channel, Jesus Prevails Church, for an hour filled with inspiration, wisdom, and faith. It is a platform where we delve into stories of remarkable women who blossom and thrive through grace, beauty, and modesty.
As we embark on this incredible journey together, we draw inspiration from Proverbs 31:10-12. In a world where